Hello folks, welcome back to Garden Days. Today is May 28th. Everything's been in the ground now for about 3 weeks, so I thought I'd give you a tour of the garden. We're going to start off right here with some cucumbers. These are mostly straight eights, but I also have some pickling cucumbers in there. This trellis is made out of T-posts with a cattle panel put on it, and that's going to be the trellis for my cucumbers. Like I said, everything's been in the ground now for about 3 weeks. However, I did take a few of my leftover plants that I had that I just didn't have the heart to get rid of and kind of overload them in some of these beds. Next up is another cucumber patch. Everybody seems to really love our cucumbers, so we decided to double up this year. I've got about 20 plants. Everything, like I said, straight eights, pickling, and bush cucumbers. Again, we just used a cattle panel and some T-posts. Coming up in the third bed here, we've got a couple of pitiful rows of spinach left, but this is where I decided to put my my peppers. Most of these are red bell. Some of them are California, some of them are other varieties. I've got 2 jalapeno peppers in there on this end, but then all of these right through here are red bell pepper. And this sad looking bed right here definitely needs to be replaced at the end of the season. It's been typically our spice bed, and it still is, as you can see in the corner, but we've also got some basil and some marjoram, even some dill here in this corner. What I tried to do is plant some strawberry starts in here, and I made the mistake of using the straw that you get like at Lowe's or Home Depot, because it's great for sowing grass, but it was so full of seed that you can see all the green grass that's coming up in the middle of our bed. At the end of the season, I'm gonna try to be ginger with any of my perennials, but the rest I'm gonna have to try to move or consolidate so I can replace this bed. In the middle here is a ring that I use for wildflowers. I made the same mistake. I put some wildflower seed in and then put that straw down, and you can see that now my wildflowers are fighting to get up through the length of the seed grass. Here's a bean bed that I just put in last week. I just made a video, and I'll try to get that to you on how I closed it in to protect it from rabbits. We've got a couple of rabbits here that if you cooked them up, they'd be about 12 pounders. Next up is our tomatoes. My son and I built this trellis about 4 years ago, so I'm not sure how much longer it'll last before it has to be replaced. In my tomato patch, I've got 2 Cherokee Purple, 2 Copia, if I'm pronouncing that right. They're almost like a Mr. Stripey. And then I've got 5 beefsteak tomatoes. All of these came from heirloom seeds. I don't know how they're going to do, because I know heirloom is a great seed, but it is more susceptible to disease than some of the crossbreeds like the big boy and beefsteak crosses and stuff like that. So I'm just going to see how it goes this year and see how well they perform. We'll keep you updated on the tomatoes for sure. As you can see, the red raspberries are doing awesome. These started from 6 plants about 5 years ago. And now you can see the size of the patch. We always make jam and jellies with these. Over here in this little bed, I decided to just try it out. I had some stuff in here a couple of years ago and didn't do very well. But I wanted to see if maybe some zucchini and some squash could do good over here. I mean, I've got a few on here, but I don't think pollinators are getting to them yet. It's still early in the season. Hopefully they'll be able to produce. I'm going to try this year to do something a little different. I'm going to cage them up and try to keep them up off the ground that way and just see how that goes. I don't know if y'all remember it, but in other videos in the past, I showed you how big my black raspberry patch was. Well, this is it now. Last fall, I decided to mow the entire thing down. It had gotten so big that I couldn't get to the berries in the middle because we just couldn't get to them, couldn't reach them. So this year I've decided I'm going to do some more work over here. I've decided to kind of put these in rows. And I've saw some videos on other people that built trellises for them. So we're going to try to trellis these up this year and try to keep everything around them mowed down or tilled under. And try to grow berries that are more controlled instead of just so widespread that, I mean, you could tell by the size of this bare spot exactly how big the berry patch was. It got to the point where we couldn't even maintain it. So I've decided to dry that. I've got to get some more fabric to lay down on this side of that one. And then we're gonna get some 4x4s and build us a trellis system. And I'll definitely include y'all in videos of that. Back here at the cucumber bed is a good place to show it. We've gotten about 1.5 inches of rain in 3 days. But I want you to look at the ground here beside the bed. At all the standing water. That's how wet this place is during any type of continuous rain. Here's a hole where my worm tower used to be. And that's water is 8 inches deep in that one. So yeah, I'm definitely glad we went everything to raised beds. And up here, last but not least, is some kind of sort of hot peppers. I got a hot cayenne, a poblano, and then a crispy sweet, or a gypsy sweet pepper. Here in the past, I've had my super hots along this wall in these 3-gallon buckets, and they did amazing. So I'm hoping that it'll replicate again this year. All right, everybody, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and to hit that like button. I sure do appreciate it. And we'll see you in the next video. Thanks.